What are you doing, class?
I'm reciting ancient poetry, teacher.
Oh, it's drinking wine 5 from Tao and me.
I'm drawing a picture.
Wow, it's Van Gogh sunflowers.
Moment, why should we recite poem?
Actually, when we learn the poems, the most important thing is comprehending the poetic imagery. Now, close your eyes and try to imagine the scene of I pick fancy side A3 at 12. Carefree, I see the southern hill.
I could imagine a Chinese painting. It's leisure and vest, so beautiful. Ida, could I associate this when I drew a picture?
Of course. While drawing, you should think outside of the frame and imagine the world in the picture. The cognition of color will be also improved at the same time.
Significantly, our aesthetic judgment enhanced when we are appreciating.
Can we feel more beauty by improving our aesthetic standard?
Of course. Poetry, painting, drama, scenery, historic sites, everything you appreciate could bring you endless happiness and joy.
That's great!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the class.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Professor Qiu.
In the last chapter, we discussed beauty in general. So, in this chapter, we will begin to discuss where to find the beauty.
Millions of years ago, when human ancestors entered the field of social history, although they didn't realize it, the beauty of reality appeared in the products they created and the personal relationship they formed.
Yes, if the making of the first stone knife has opened the front page of human history, then when people consciously make symmetrical and exquisite stone knives, according to the sense of beauty, it opens the beginning of the history of aesthetics beautifying human world history.
In ancient times, mountains and rivers, stars and moon, flowers and so on can be seen everywhere. But because of the limitations of economic conditions and people's cognitive level at that time, these beautiful things could not form a close relationship with human beings in material and spiritual aspects.
With the rapid progress of productivity and social progress, these natural objects become a part of people's real life as people's living environment or living conditions. For example, the vast grassland, towering snow mountains can delight people's spirit. The bright moon and the twinkling stars often have some connection with people's specific life, so they can give people aesthetic enjoyment and stimulate poetic and picturesque flavor.
Yes, although these things have not been directly processed and transformed by human labor, due to the development of human social practice activities, people's ability has been improved, people's vision has been expanded, and people's essential strength has been enriched. In this way, more natural things have been brought into people's life and become part of people's amiable living environment, thus obtaining aesthetic value.
The beauty of reality is the beauty existing in the object, nature, and human social life. It is produced and developed with the material production activities of human beings. So, it is the earliest and the most extensive.
Natural beauty is the beauty of natural things in real life. The beauty of sun, moon and stars, mountains and rivers, plants, flowers, birds, insects, and fish all belong to natural beauty. It shows how powerful the natural beauty has. So, how do we find the beauty? Let's look at the following poem. All day long, I looked vainly for a sign of spring. My grass shows raising clouds from the dust of all fields. Returning home, I smilingly pick a plum blossom and sniff it. Oh no, here on this break is spring in its fullness. This is a poem of enlightenment by a certain Buddhist nun in Crane Forest Yulu.
Poetry and spring are the embodiment of beauty. One is the beauty of art. The other is the beauty of nature. We all find her in the world of sight and hearing. This poem is full of them. If you can't find the beauty in your heart, then you will have no place to find the traces of beauty.
Ancient Chinese called this process as empathy. Just like the ore merchants only see the monetary value of the ore, but not the beauty of the ore. We have to transform our mood and thoughts, move the direction, then face the image of beauty. Only by reflecting beauty faithfully and deeply into the heart, and then radiating it, can it become art by creating images for expression with materials.
Emphasis should be on aesthetic, psychological aspects of the positive factors and conditions, while the psychological distance and static observation mentioned by association constitute the negative aesthetic conditions. The poet Guo Liufang has a poem named The Boat. Returned to Changsha, I live on the east side of Zhu Lake. Many big curtains are glowing in the red sunset. Today, I suddenly looked at my home from a distance across the river. Started to realize that my home was in the picture.
She lived in real life and has not been able to grasp its image of beauty until she have a distance to her daily life. From a distance, she finds that her home looks like in the picture, and dissolved in a piece of natural image of beauty.
Aesthetic education comes from human social practice. In the hunting stage, the aesthetic education activities of primitive tribes not only have clear, practical, utilitarian purposes and mysterious meanings of witchcraft and etiquette, but also are always realized through murals and dances directly related to hunting production.
The upper caveman sprinkles mineral red powder on the corpses. This primitive activity is the beginning of the ideology and the superstructure of human society. Its natural form is the witchcraft etiquette of primitive society, that is, ancient totem activities. Red is not only a stimulus to their physiological feelings, which animals can also have, but also contains or provides some conceptual meaning, which animals can't have.
As a primitive aesthetic art, cave frescoes in Europe are just the manifestation of witchcraft and etiquette, and cannot exist independently without them. The so-called decoration and the use of red by cave people at the top of the mountain are not made for aesthetic purposes. Aesthetic or art is not independent or divided at this time. They are just hidden in this kind of primitive witchcraft, rituals, and other totem activities.
Primitive society is a slow and long process of development. It has experienced different stages, including different times of relative peace and fierce war. The matriarchal clan society in the early Neolithic age was relatively peaceful and stable. Yang Shao, 半坡 and 庙底沟 and Ma Jiayao's painted pottery patterns are just the reflection of the relatively peaceful and stable social atmosphere.
The fish in various forms, the galloping dog, the crawling lizard, the clumsy birds and frogs, especially the image fish on the human face in the potted pottery. The artistic style and aesthetic consciousness directly conveyed by these images can clearly make people feel the vividness, liveliness, simplicity, and innocence. It is vigorous and healthy childhood style.
In fact, some geometric patterns of Yangshao and Ma Jiayao have clearly shown that they have gradually become abstract and symbolic from realistic animal images. From the reappearance, simulation to expression of abstraction. From realism to symbolization. This is a process of accumulation from content to form, and also the original formation of beauty.
It can be seen that the abstract, dramatic ornamentation is not a form of beauty, but a content in the abstract, form and the concept in the sensory feeling. This is the common feature of beauty and aesthetic object and subject.
Therefore, beauty lies in form rather than form. Without form, natural form, there is no beauty, and only form, natural form, is not beauty.
Yes, Clive Bear put forward the famous view that beauty is significant form, denied representation and emphasized the aesthetic nature of pure form, such as lines, which provided a theoretical basis for the later Impressionist painting.
Line and color are two major facts in plastic arts. In contrast, color is a more primitive aesthetic form, because the feeling of color is directly based on the natural response of animals, such as the different psychological feelings of red and green colors. Lines are not. It is much more indirect and difficult to feel, understand, and master them. They need more ideas, imagination, and understanding.
This is inseparable from skillful, grasped, and meticulous manufacturing of the shapes of the developing and varied pottery entities. Only on the basis of this material production can they increasingly become the core of aesthetic art in this period.
In a word, in a historical process from reappearance to expression, from realism to symbol, from form to line, people unconsciously created and cultivated a relatively pure, line is more pure than color, form of beauty, and aesthetic sense of form. From lively and pleasant to heavy and mysterious, which is an undoubted demonstration of the trend to the Bronze Age.
The bronze ornamentation represented by Tao Tie, a mythical, ferocious animal, is different from the supernatural, geometric abstract ornamentation. They are far from concrete animal images, and there is no corresponding animal in the real world.
They express the affirmation and fantasy of the nascent class to their own dominant position by the mysterious and threatening animal images beyond the world. There are no longer the vivid and realistic images of Yangshao painted pottery patterns, and they are also different from the geometric patterns of the abstract pottery, though mysterious. The feeling they present is a kind of mysterious power and ferocious beauty. The reason why they are beautiful lies not in how these images have the power to intimidate and mystify, but in the strong lines and deep feelings of these strange images.
Because of this, the barbaric myths and legends, brutal war stories, and artistic works of ancient clans, including the Epic of the Dutch, the Masque of Africa, although it is very rude, even fierce and terrifying, it still maintains a huge aesthetic charm. This is just like the sense of destiny rendered by the Greek tragedy with the effect of terror.
At the same time, because the early patriarchal system was inseparable from the primitive society, there was still some real childlike spirit in these images of ferocity, so that gave rise to an unattainable childlike beauty, which still had something primitive, innocent, and unsophisticated in it. Therefore, in our modern life, all kinds of imitation of this, because of the lack of its existence of time and space, also lost its real beauty.
With the development of social productive forces, the contents and ways of aesthetic education are becoming increasingly rich and diversified. The application of natural beauty and social beauty, especially the application of various artworks, has become an important part of aesthetic education and daily life.
Take Chinese calligraphy, for example. The secret that oracle-born inscriptions and inscriptions on bronze can create the independent development of Chinese calligraphy lies in that they gradually turn pictographic simulation into pure or purified abstract lines and structures. The real beauty of calligraphy is not the formal beauty or decorative beauty of the general pattern, but the meaningful form in the real sense.
The general formal beauty is often static, stylized, normalized, and lost the sense of real life and power, such as the character of art, while significant form is the opposite. It is a living, flowing, life-suggestive, and expressive beauty.
The art of Chinese calligraphy as a line is not the neat, uniform, balanced, and symmetrical formal beauty of lines, but the free beauty of diverse flow. It not only expresses emotion, but also has two factors and components: modeling, general simulation, and expression, expressing emotion. In this long development, the latter takes the lead and advantage. Calligraphy has changed from painting and sculpture to an art form comparable to the music and dance, and have become the soul of all kinds of plastic arts and performance arts in China. It has high aesthetic value.
Sales are similar to calligraphy in a very limited small world. With its brush and structure, it shows different kind of interest and momentum, and forms different kind of styles and schools, which is another unique, significant form in China.
Different from animals, man is rational and intelligent. The systematization of knowledge research becomes science. Integrating scientific knowledge and life wisdom to establish a world outlook, an outlook on life, is the key to philosophy. Between the pursuit of truth by philosophy and the pursuit of goodness by morality or religion. It is beauty that can reach the depth of our emotions and achieve the harmony of our personality.
Literature and art are the key to the realization of beauty. Most of the world's greatest architecture, sculptures, and music are religious. First class, literature is also based on great religious passion. Literature and art acquire profound life wisdom and universe concept from its right label, philosophy, so that it can carry out the task of life criticism and life enlightenment.
Art is a kind of technology. Ancient artists were originally technologists. Modern and future art should also pay special attention to technology. However, their technology is not only served in life, like craft, but also showing life, emotion, and personality.
However, literature and art is not only a mirror, reflecting the world, but also an independent and self-sufficient form creation with the harmony of rhythm, form, and color. It establishes a small universe of its own, which is full and self-sufficient, and everything inside is inevitable, so it is beautiful.
Image is not a form, but the unity of form and content. Every dot, line, color, shape, sound, and rhythm in the form shows the meaning, emotion, and value of the content. The cultivation, nurture, and training of the mind is the preparation for discovery and experience of beauty, the same as creating beauty. Beauty is an objective existence independent of our will. On the contrary, it influences us, educates us, and enhances the realm and interest of our life.
Have we found beauty? We may come into contact with the power of beauty and affirm her existence. But her infinite reach contained is constantly when we go to find. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.